idam namamo. Om tva Buryaya idam namamo. Om bhurva swaha. Jambagam vadamahe Om Jambagam
from the textbook in psychology. Sleep and samadhi are two kinds of equilibrium of the gunas. Equilibrium is of two kinds, higher and lower. An ideal example of higher equilibrium is samadhi or nirvana, where self and prakriti transcend all cosmic motions and prakriti is subordinate to self, purusha. An ideal example of lower equilibrium, is deep sleep, where all motions are transformed into prakriti, and purusha is latent. Those persons who always investigate the powers of prakriti and who do not care for the light of purusha may attain a state of equilibrium of cosmic forces. But because they do not reach to the state of purusha, they remain unenlightened.
What is the meaning of Buddha?
I am awareness, pure consciousness.
Amen.
Such persons are absorbed in nature and are called prakriti laya. Next, what is the relationship of mind and matter? In philosophy, psychology, and science, several theories have been advanced to explain the relationship of mind and matter. Some of these are mechanical, biological, evolutionary, and atomic theories. In addition to these, Sankhya Yoga offers the double aspect theory, asserting that mind and matter are two aspects of an unmanifested original substance called avyakta. Noumenon. Avyakta is the fundamental force of the universe, including dynamic equilibrium of the three different cosmic forces, gunas. The cosmic force of sattva, which later develops into mind stuff, exists potentially in prakriti. Cosmic forces of motion, rajas, and inertia, tamas, also exist potentially in prakriti. If these forces were not potentially present in prakriti, no amount of qualitative and quantitative development could bring the universe into manifestation.
The universal kingdom of misery. Do you know the cause of your failure and lack of success? I do not mean your lack of money, good health, name, fame, and position, but hereby failure and lack of success, I mean the universal operation of misery on all levels, physical, mental, and spiritual, in spite of all the conveniences we have. Look at our life. We are born with pain, labor pain. We spend our babyhood in pain. School is a royal pain. Our marriage is sure to be a pain. To have children brings pain. Work is a pain. Name, fame, and position we earn with fame. Pain. Old age is filled with pain. You might say that we are born in a hospital. Our whole life we depend on the clinic or hospital, and ultimately we die in that hospital. The hospital, it seems, is our reality.
Amen. Amen.
Our heaven. Take, for example, a servant. Now, this servant is not happy because he secretly wants to become the boss. But the boss is not happy either. He wants to become the mayor. The mayor, in turn, is not happy because look who's sitting there in the form of the governor. But the governor is not happy because he wants to become president or prime minister. But do you think the president's happy? President and prime minister are not happy because they want to dominate the whole planet. All presidents and prime ministers whom I have seen have died most miserably and unhappily. There are many types of misery and pain. There is physical pain, but more powerful than the physical is the psychological pain. And the most powerful, more powerful than psychological, is spiritual pain. A priest is a spiritual man. He wants to become the high priest. The high priest wants to become the bishop, but the bishop wants to become the archbishop, and the archbishop wants to become the cardinal, but it doesn't stop there. The cardinal is not happy. He wants to become the pope, and the pope wants to become Jesus Christ. On and on, in every religion, these things are going on. Our life, in short, has become so externalized that we do not know what is going on within us. Our unresolved mental problems and emotions are challenging us, demanding expression as the motions or movements of our life governing our behavior and conduct. And that behavior and conduct are leading us toward bankruptcy, neurosis, psychosis, and insanity. We know how to go to the moonland, how to fly through space by jumbo jet. We know how to drive a car or earth or train on Earth. We can travel underwater faster than the speed of fishes by our submarines. We can talk with our neighbors by walkie-talkie. All over the earth, we communicate by telephone and telegraph. We relate with our solar system and even with distant stars by radio waves. Yet, we cannot talk to our own self, which is our real life. We cannot walk independently with our own feet. That is to say, with absolute Godhood in the form of I am. In fact, without this I am, we cannot do anything. Without I am, we are dead. Thus, I am is our real life. Nobody can overcome unresolved emotions. These emotions block the light of absolute I am. Do you know the main cause of this unfortunate predicament? We have everything except happiness. In olden times, people had nothing but were very happy. Nowadays, scientists have made heaven on earth for us with our radio, TV, telephone, our radio waves and radar waves, the computers, railways, and airplanes. We are circling the orbit of the earth and going to the moon, and even venturing into outer space. No doubt, nobody wants nowadays to go to the old heaven. Therefore, America has created New Haven. But by this, man is becoming a robot. Although we have gone to outer space many times, we do not know the beauty, tranquility, and blessings of our inner space. Therefore, man is not happy. We are very expert in mutual blame, blaming each other for our lack of success and happiness, but this does not help. Our religions have lost their mystical beauty. They have lost the mysticism in them. Mysticism and mystification are two different things. All religions operate on the level of mythology and symbolism. We try to mystify our mythology and symbolism, but they can never be real mysticism. They cannot be reality. When absolute truth is told by the thinking, talkative mind through the mills of language, then we are mystifying our mythology and symbolism as reality. No doubt, we feel happy by our mystified mythology and symbolism, but mystification remains mystification. The moment you try to tell truth by the thinking mind through language, that moment it is reduced to mythology and symbolism, because ultimate truth cannot be defined through any language or any thinking. When it is, then it can no longer be mysticism. One word about mysticism and mystification. Mystification can work only through symbols, like sensation or mathematics or language, the computer, so on and so forth. But mysticism is above sensation, above all symbols. Mystification works through time and space, because it depends on language, on thought. Psychologically, the movement of thought is the movement of time and space. Mysticism, on the other hand, goes beyond time and space. We work on both planes. When we operate by means of the body and mind, then we are working through time and space. And when we operate devoid of any thought and thinking, then we are operating beyond time and space. Be still, and know I am that I am. No doubt we have a body and mind, but we are not the body and mind. Body and mind are our symbols. Ultimately, we must experience the truth of our being without symbols, by going beyond the body and mind. And then we should help others by mystifying our experience through symbols such as mythology, mathematics, art, science, and so forth. As long as we are not hungry and thirsty, so long we cannot enjoy food and drink. Similarly, man is not hungry and thirsty for real life. He is constipated with unreality, and therefore he cannot enjoy ultimate truth. The main cause of our difficulty is that we live in our body and mind. Therefore, we have become identified with the body and mind. In one sentence, one may say that mysticism is real gold, and mystification is its shadow. I am asking you, can fishes live without water? Or can man live without space and air? In the same way, can any man live without awareness? Awareness is the first and last freedom, as well as the first and last mysticism and religion. In our life, awareness is manifested as I am. When you go beyond the body and mind by meditation on I am, then you can feel your real being, which is eternal existence, awareness, pure consciousness, and bliss, Satchid Ananda. We live in the forest of the body and mind, which is constituted by the 5 gross elements, the 5 subtle elements, or radio waves, the 5 sense organs, or senses, 5 motor organs, the mind, ego, superego, chittam, and nature, or prakriti. Our I consciousness, or psychosomatic consciousness, operates in the external universe by means of these above-mentioned 25 elements. They serve to communicate with the external universe, to orient the external universe in time and space, with cause and effect. But they cannot communicate with the internal universe. Therefore, we have 2 types of universe. One is the created universe, created in 6 days by the absolute I am, or absolute God. These 6 days are the 6 senses: the eyes to see, nose to breathe and smell, the tongue to taste and talk, ears to hear, skin to orient, plus the mind to think. These 6 senses are all part of the created universe. But we also have the eternal or uncreated universe. By means of the 6 senses, we cannot feel absolute I am, because these 6 senses are within time and space, while absolute I am, absolute Godhood, always remains beyond time and space. Thus, we can never know the ultimate truth, God, by our I consciousness or psychosomatic consciousness, because it never goes beyond the body and mind. And here, our consciousness becomes the sense of ego. As long as you have psychosomatic consciousness, the self-sense or ego, so long you cannot know the ultimate form of the universe or God. For this, you have to go beyond the level of the 3 gunas or cosmic forces, because the body and mind are governed by them. And now I want to facilitate your understanding of this subject by illustrating it with a very charming, mythical story of our life. The Hindus have a trinity of 3 gods, Brahma, Visnu, and Shiva. The word God has 3 letters, G, O, D. G means the generative aspect, that is to say, the aspect of creation, Brahma. O is the organizing aspect, Vishnu, and D means the destructive aspect, that which removes all obstacles in the path of the creative and organizing forces, the path of perfection. This is Shiva. These deities govern the whole creation, the past, present, and future, through our thinking mind. They are in our mind. Without them, we cannot think anything. Therefore, they are faculties of thinking. For example, say you want to cook a meal. The moment the idea of cooking comes, Brahma begins to operate, because it is a creative and generative thought. After the idea comes the process of organization. How to prepare that meal? Visnu. And finally, destroying the obstacles blocking the creative and organizing faculties is part of Shiva. Take another example. You came to attend this meeting. First, you had the idea to come, Ichcha Shakti, or the generative thought, Brahma. Then you had to organize the whole day's work to come here, because you have many works, not only this. That is Kriya Shakti, or the operation of Visnu. And then you had to destroy many obstacles in the path of your coming here, Jnana Shakti, the part of Shiva. This same process works with every activity and creation. Thus we have G plus O plus D. The trinity of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva constantly operating in our thinking mind. And now the story began once upon a time. All three deities were in family trouble. After a very long time, Brahma returned home to his abode, having been very busy in creation. His wife, Mother Sarasvati, was very angry because he had been out so long. She told him, "You are the most miserable creature, creating everything for others while you yourself have nothing. You have no house. Your house is a meager lotus flower in the center of a lake, and I cannot accommodate there easily, for there's always the risk of falling off into the water. Nobody can sleep on a lotus flower. Why do you live there? You live there due to fear of cockroaches and bugs." And she protested, "You have 4 faces. Always 2 faces are against me. And nobody can kiss you. You're always looking in the other direction. Your vehicle is a swan. I can't ride on the same swan. You need a jumbo jet, or at least a private flying saucer. Brahma, you are a most miserable creature. Therefore, listen, search for some nice place for us to pass a happy life." Well, after listening to her complaint, Brahma was ready to go with her to visit Shiva and see how he and his family were doing. But in the meantime, Lord Shiva was also in family trouble. You know, he was always riding on the back of a bull, and Mother Parvati, his beloved wife, was always riding on the back of a lion. Did you know that the bull and the lion are natural enemies? And Shiva had the Ganga river on his head. Mother Parvati was always jealous of that river because she wanted to be riding on his head. And Shiva had serpents around his body as ornaments, while his son, Lord Ganesh, had a mouse as his vehicle. And wouldn't you know, the serpent and the mouse, these are also natural enemies. Never mind, his elder son, Shanmukha, was a 6-headed god. He had as his vehicle a peacock, and the peacock is another natural enemy of the serpent. Mother Parvati complained, "Your whole house is full of holocaust. You have no proper house. You sleep on the glaciers of Mount Kailas. And why are you living here? Because of fear of cockroaches and bugs. I know. But I cannot appreciate this type of life in the glaciers. You do not have any type of privacy. You destroy everybody else's trouble, but your abode is full of nothing but trouble. Why don't you destroy your own trouble? Anyway, you always live in the graveyard, smeared with the ashes of cremation. You're wearing a garland of skulls and always carrying a begging bowl. Why don't you build a suitable house for yourself and your family? Why don't you get a flying saucer? You know Lord Brahma and Lord Visnu are very happy with their wives." After hearing this, Shiva thought that they should visit Brahma and Vishnu. So together with Mother Parvati, Shiva set out, and on the way they met Lord Brahma. Now, after mutual salutations, they came to know each other's family trouble. So Brahma and Shiva decided to go with their respective families to Lord Vishnu's abode. But as cosmic luck would have it, at that very same time, Mother Lakshmi, the wife of Lord Vishnu, was giving many complaints against her lord. "You live in the ocean of milk. Due to fear of cockroaches and bugs and various types of pollution, would you please organize something for your house? You can use some antiseptic or Lysol to wipe out the cockroaches and bugs." She continued, "I cannot enjoy your bed. Your bed is made of serpents. I cannot sleep with you. Lord Shiva keeps serpents as ornaments, but you sleep on the serpents." Have you ever seen anybody sleep on a bed of serpents? And your enemy, your vehicle is Garuda, the eagle, the serpent's natural enemy. Now Brahma and Shiva are very happy. Why don't you follow them? Build a nice house for your family. Meanwhile, Brahma and Shiva arrived at Lord Vishnu's abode. And after respectful salutations, they all came to know each other's family trouble and problems. They began to wonder, is any man happy in the whole solar system? Is any man happy in any solar system? Finally, they began to meditate. And after long meditation, they located one family on earth which was very happy. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva all wondered what could be the cause of this extraordinary couple's happiness. The husband's name was Atri, meaning beyond the three gunas, beyond the body and mind. And the wife's name was Anasuya, which means pure wisdom, not involved with finding fault with anybody. Ultimately, all three deities, leaving their own families behind, went to earth to visit this couple and search the cause of their happiness. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva disguised themselves as 3 Jain monks in nude form. As you know, a nude Jain monk bears no clothes and therefore is called Digambara, or he who wears space as his garment. After presenting themselves in this way, the 3 monks asked permission to stay at Atri and Anasuya's home as honored guests for some days. Shri Atri and Shrimati Anasuya were in complete agreement and offered their complete hospitality. But when Anasuya was preparing the meal for them, the guests demanded, "Since we are nude, then you, our hostess, should also be nude, at least while serving the meal." Anasuya noticed their strange behavior, but also their divine majesty. So she meditated, and at once she came to know their true form as heavenly gods. So she sprinkled water on them, and by the power of their meditation, the three guests were transformed into baby form. Then Shrimati Anasuya became nude herself to give them milk. The three babies were very happy with Atri and Anasuya's behavior and devotion. They could not find such love, devotion, and dedication anywhere in the whole universe. After several days, they revealed their real form to the couple and blessed Atri and Anasuya, offering them a boon. Atri and Anasuya replied, "But we have everything already by your presence and grace." Still, the gods insisted that they ask something before departure, because their visit could not go in vain. Therefore, Atri and Anasuya asked, "Since you three became our babies, then all three of you come into one form and become our baby son." The boon was granted, and thus their son was born. He had 3 heads, and 1 body, and 6 arms, because he was the union and combination of all 3 gods, Brahma, Visnu, and Shiva. He also had with him a cow and 4 dogs. This son became more powerful than all of heaven. Therefore, he was called Dattatreya, the Guru of heaven and earth. Do you know the moral application of this story? Believe it or not, this is your story. By meditation on I Am, beyond the body and mind, you will find the mysticism behind this story. Here, the cow is the body. The 3 heads are Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. The 6 arms are the 6 senses and sensory organs: eyes to see, ears to hear, nose to smell and breathe, tongue to taste and talk, the skin to touch, feel, grasp, and the mind to think. The 4 dogs are the Antakarana, that is to say, the mind, ego, superego, and chittam. Although he has a cow as his body, 6 arms as his senses, 3 heads as his mind, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, and 4 dogs as the Antakarana, still Dattatreya remains always beyond all of these. Therefore, he is the Guru of heaven and earth. Fishes are very happy in the deep water of the ocean. In the same way, in the ocean of pure consciousness, pure awareness, beyond the body and mind, that is to say, in the state of absolute I Am, or absolute Godhood, man is very happy. There is no other way. Be still and know I am that I am. I and my Father are one. I am the Alpha and Omega, which is to say, I am is the Alpha and Omega. When you meditate on I am beyond the body and mind, then you can understand and comprehend the mystical power of this story. Otherwise, not. Please meditate to verify this story, because it is yours. Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. That is to say, feel the absolute truth, absolute bliss, and absolute beauty of I am. Om Shanti, Shri Brahmananda Sarasvati.
Any questions?
Is Ishvara related with Parabrahman, Brahman or Brahma?
Again.
Ishvara. Is Ishvara related to Parabrahman? Ishvara?
What do you think?
Maybe Brahma?
Pura, Ishvara,
Ishvara,
Amen. I define me. Have the harmony.
Ishvara,
I define me.
Creative awareness.
Who I omnipresent God.
Ishvara is the omnipresent God.
Prakriti
Prakriti
and Jiva.
and Jiva.
God
God is Ishvara,
and Prakriti
Prakriti
are nature
or cosmic nature,
and Jiva.
and Jiva or individual soul.
But I do feed of Brahman.
There are these three, but when you reach Brahman,
One unity
there is no more Trinity.
who become one.
You become one.
Like he. Like he.
Like in sleep, everything becomes one in deep sleep.
Therefore, you have unity,
Therefore you have the Trinity,
beyond beyond it.
or you go beyond the Trinity.
And now you have mind,
As long as you have a mind,
so now you have Trinity.
so long you have that Trinity.
When you go beyond the mind,
When you go beyond mind,
you cannot have Trinity.
you cannot have Trinity.
Become one.
You become one with all.
24 hours.
Within 24 hours,
Sometime after,
sometime or another,
we go beyond it.
you go beyond that Trinity
24 hours, counting.
in the form of deep sound sleep.
I am asking you,
I ask you,
where you are counting?
where are you when you're soundly sleeping?
Where for God?
Where is your God?
Where is God?
And where is the world?
Where is time here?
Where is time and space?
But after awakening,
But after awakening,
you come.
you,
I got counting.
you can remember I had sound sleep
I was very happy.
and I was very happy.
I find only
Only
this eye,
this
I.
eye
semen,
remains.
all the
The eye remains.
hey, many has come
Many incarnations
come and go,
come and go,
but I am
but I am
always here.
is always here.
You cannot speak without saying I am.
You cannot live without that I am.
And that means
And you cannot speak without it.
while you can you anything without I am?
Can you speak?
Do.
Can you do anything without the I am?
Think.
Think.
Can you have no harmony,
When you have no awareness,
can you cannot do anything.
then you cannot do anything.
About the harmony and I,
So what is the awareness and the I am?
same thing.
They are the same thing.
I am mean totally
I am means pure consciousness,
and totally between I.
and pure consciousness means I am.
Body God,
What is God?
totally.
Pure consciousness.
Although we have consciousness,
Although we have consciousness,
but our consciousness is more consciousness.
but our consciousness is not pure consciousness.
We cannot free our consciousness,
Our consciousness
Bhagavan consciousness.
is the psychosomatic consciousness.
We cannot do anything without any.
Which cannot do anything without the senses.
Can you do anything without any?
Can you do anything without your senses?
Can you think without mind?
Can you think without your mind?
Can you hear without ear?
Can you see without your eyes?
Can you
Smell without, breathe without your nose? Can you taste or speak without your tongue? Hear without your ears? Touch without your...
As for our consciousness is not pure.
Therefore, our consciousness is not pure consciousness.
While consciousness,
While pure,
dark consciousness
while God consciousness
is always pure.
is always pure.
I will find part without thinking.
If you can work without senses,
Then who are God.
And you are God.
How to work beyond senses?
How to work without senses?
We
Very easy.
you are born. You are born
You are born
by power.
with that power.
When you born,
When you are born,
you have no language.
you have no language.
I get paid. Why cannot do anything?
Who cannot do it?
Mind
The mind cannot do anything.
play here. Mind cannot do anything without language.
The mind cannot do anything without language.
With language. Language cannot do anything without time machine.
And the language cannot do anything without time and space.
If ancient found time without time,
Without time,
holder, past, minute,
present, past, future,
who cannot do, anger cannot work without
which cannot work without present, past, future.
Therefore, I now you think,
Therefore, as long as you think,
you now you figure out find it,
so long you are
victim.
the victim of time and space.
And when you become silent,
And when you become silent,
and go beyond time.
then you go beyond time and space.
Therefore, whatever you tell by language
Therefore, whatever you tell by language,
is myth.
it is a myth.
Language, language, language.
Symbol.
Mathematics,
Even mathematics works with symbols. It's a symbol, not symbol.
any question?
Any question?
Can you talk about spiritual healing and what kind of illnesses can you heal through spiritual healing? How it works?
It's a whole lecture.
Father Ananda.
What do you understand about that? What is your feeling?
Well, it's done through energy transmission.
The moment you can meditate,
The moment you meditate,
I think without with meditation, healing
healing is done through meditation,
I do know all time.
whether you know that or not. Whether you are aware of it or not, spiritual healing happens by means of meditation.
When now you talk,
As long as you talk,
you now need to heal.
so long there is no healing.
What the purpose of healing, you have to meditate.
For the purpose of healing, you have to meditate.
Or not only think it,
Not only
he thinks it, acts it.
sickness,
But you have to go beyond body and mind.
not only meditate on the sickness, but you have to go beyond body and mind.
Body, thing.
What is the greatest sickness?
Body and mind.
Body and mind means identity, the body and mind.
After
After
that,
that,
by meditation,
by means of meditation,
whole body and mind become. But,
your body and mind become
but,
word.
without hesitation.
After meditation, your body and mind work like electricity.
I am asking you,
I'm asking you,
when you drive good car,
when you drive your car,
mind
if you can drive your car blindfolded,
then it is be sure
then you can be sure
with human mind
with open eyes,
to know
there's no doubt you can drive even better with open eyes if you can drive blindfolded. So we all are driving blindfolded, and meditation will be like opening the eyes.
whole meeting by means of meditation,
By means of meditation,
you become ascended.
you become eternal,
Not only for completion.
not only healing sickness.
Oh. Death
is a sickness. The greatest sickness is death itself.
Holy,
Go to hell.
holy.
Old age. I think that also is sickness. I also have sickness.
You are dead.
I am deaf. Due to old age.
You are dead beyond more than that. You are dead without your soul. Without your own death.
Oh, without
Only.
old age. What can happen in old age?
You cannot live. Be other thing. Do not think out.
Okay.
Any question?